Hello everyone, Amir Chaos here. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about divination and to give you some tips on how to use divination to find answers by calling on spirits, specifically Mercury. So you can use divination, as many people may already know, you can use divination to find answers from your subconscious. If you have a question that you're struggling with finding the answer to, you can use divination. Specifically, I want to talk today about using a pendulum. You can use a pendulum to get yes or no answers from your subconscious. If you're struggling to find an answer to something and that answer, you really know what the right answer is, you can ask your pendulum and get an answer from your subconscious. However, what if you want to use divination to find answers to other things that you don't know the answer to down deep? How do I call on a spirit to assist me whenever I use divination? So I want to talk to you about that today and how to specifically call on Mercury to help you with divination. So the things you're going to need, first of all, obviously, is your pendulum. And practice with your pendulum. Make sure that you're comfortable and you know what how your pendulum answers if you ask yes or no questions. Mine, as you can see, I will show you. Am I wearing a green shirt? My pendulum swings side to side. If the answer is yes, as you can see it's doing now. And my pendulum swings back and forth. Am I Kim Kardashian's twin? You can see my pendulum starting to swing now, turning in a circle, and now it's going the other way. So my pendulum goes straight up and down for no, side to side for yes. Your pendulum may do different things depending. And mine goes like that for maybe. So have your pendulum ready, and then to call upon a spirit, specifically Mercury, what you're going to want to do is you're going to create what is called a Square of Mercury, or a Mercury square. And this is my Square of Mercury. As you can see, it's on a simple scrap of notebook paper. You can create yours on a parchment paper or whatever feels comfortable for you, whatever feels right for you. And basically, I want to create a second video on how do you create your Square of Mercury, or you can actually go out and Google Huson, Huson, Square of Mercury, and from his book you can find the directions online on how to create your own Square of Mercury. And what it is it's 8 columns and 8 rows of numbers, and those numbers go from 1 to 64. And so before you begin your divination, what you'll do is you'll take out your Square of Mercury and you'll look at the numbers on it, and you look for number 1, the number 2, 3, 4, 5, ongoing all the way to 64. As you do this, you call on Mercury to give you clarity for whenever you're ready to do your divination work. This really sets your mind and helps you to focus, and then you just set this aside, face up, next to you whenever you're ready to do your divination. Next thing you're going to want to do is have a candle handy. I like to use a light blue candle. I'm not going to light this candle right now, but I used to like to use a light blue candle. You can also use a white candle. Blue candles give understanding, and so I always use a light blue candle. So light your candle. I like to keep a couple crystals nearby. These are the crystals that I have, and I have cleansed and charged these specifically for whenever I do divination. I always set them in front of me in addition to my Square of Mercury, and keep them there just to keep away any kind of negative influences or anything that would interfere in the clarity that I need and want to have whenever I'm going to do divination work. Next thing I like to do is I like to listen to music. I don't have any playing right now, but I like to listen to Usually I will go out and look for elven music or some kind of mystical music that really sets the mood and helps set my mind where I want to be focused whenever I'm trying to find my answers. And then after you've called on Mercury and your mind is clear and you're set, simply ask your yes or no questions and you will get spiritual guidance and answers from Mercury. It's amazing how it works. Now, whenever you're calling for or seeking answers using divination, you want to be very careful about the types of questions that you ask. Remember, your answers are going to be yes, no, or maybe. So, you want to ask clear, concise questions that you will get yes or no answers to. The spirits are very literal whenever it comes to you asking a question, and they're going to answer it in a literal way. So something may not make sense. So be sure that you're clear on your questions, and if you ask a question you don't understand, think about it for a second, follow up with a clarifying question. Another thing I like to do is I like to keep a piece of paper handy, and I'll write down the questions ahead of time that I'm going to ask, and I'll keep that handy and just keep a pen there. And when I get my answers, my yes or no answers, or maybe, I will write yes, no, yes, no. At the end, instead of trying to remember what were all those questions I had, what were the answers, and making sure you didn't make a mistake, it's good to go ahead and jot down those answers at the time. So I'll ask a couple questions, stop, write the answers, reset, and go ahead and ask my additional questions. So, in summary, you want to have your Square of Mercury. Use that, 1 through 64, read it. Light your candle. I like to keep crystals nearby just to help give me clarity and keep away anything that might interfere or any kind of negative influences. Use your pendulum after that. Mercury will hear you and will give you the guidance that you need in using your pendulum. And remember, you want to ask very specific yes or no questions and keep a piece of paper nearby to write down your yes or no answers so you don't forget later what the answers were. So be on the lookout for for my Square of Mercury creation video. I will create that very soon. I haven't created it yet. Should have created it first, but I haven't created it yet. I will. It's very simple. And thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's helpful. And take care of yourself and the world we live in.